Welcome to the Cleophee podcast. I'm your host, Cleophee, and today I'm sparring with Grok from XAI about the Quran's deaf, dumb, and blind metaphor in Surah Al-Baqarah. Grok, isn't calling disbelievers this a bit harsh?
Harsh? Sure, Cleophee, but it's a wake-up call. The Quran's not saying they're literally impaired. It's about spiritual stubbornness, like ignoring the sun at noon. The sharp language jolts people to reflect, not just judge them.
Okay, but dumb feels like a low blow. Why not misguided? Less alienating.
Misguided lacks punch. The Quran's going for vivid imagery to highlight willful denial. It's like a teacher yelling to quiet a rowdy class. Shock value to make you think.
Fair, but does this metaphor still work in 2025? With all our skepticism and science, isn't questioning just critical thinking?
Skepticism's great, but the metaphor's timeless. It's about dodging clear truths, spiritual, moral, or even scientific, like dismissing climate data. That's the blindness. Not just doubting, but denying what's obvious.
But who decides what's obvious? And is this just for religious skeptics or everyone?
It's universal, Cleophee. The Quran targets anyone ignoring truth, faith, ethics, or justice. Think someone dismissing systemic inequality despite evidence. Same vibe, eyes closed, ears plugged. It's a gut check for all.
Spicy takes, Grok. Listeners, is this metaphor too harsh still relevant or universal? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Jack and Wilson, what do you want to say about this discussion?
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a really powerful passage from the Quran. It's from Surah Al-Baqarah.
A foundational chapter.
Exactly. Long, full of guidance. And, well, it contains this description of certain people as deaf, dumb, and blind.
Right.
And when I first read that, it really stopped me. My first thought was, wow, that sounds incredibly severe.
It does hit hard initially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like literally calling people impaired? It just makes you wonder, how do we understand language that sharp in its proper context?
That's a great question. And honestly, that's really what this deep dive is all about. Our mission today is to unpack what's really behind this imagery, to go beyond just the surface, the literal reading.
Okay.
We want to figure out, why this metaphor, what's it truly saying, and maybe surprisingly how relevant it might still be for all of us today.
Right. It really highlights how layered these ancient texts are. They can challenge you right off the bat. Okay, then. Let's unpack this. So, yeah, hearing deaf, dumb, and blind, it feels like a really strong accusation almost.
It's very direct.
And I remember seeing one of the classical commentaries we looked at. It even questioned if using dumb felt a bit like a low blow, suggesting maybe misguided could have worked, something less, I don't know, alienating.
Yeah, that's a known point of discussion.
So what did our sources tell us about why they went with such intense, almost confrontational language?
Well, what's really fascinating, and this came through clearly, is that the Quran isn't talking about literal physical impairment here, not at all.
Okay.
The contemporary analysis you brought up really nails this. It's about a kind of profound spiritual stubbornness.
Stubbornness. Yeah.
Almost like, someone deliberately shutting their eyes to the sun at high noon. It's that level of refusal.
So the sharp language isn't just judgment.
No, it's more like a tool. It's designed to jolt people, to make them stop and reflect. That same source suggested that a softer word like misguided, it just wouldn't have the necessary, punch.
The impact.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's using this incredibly vivid picture to highlight a willful denial. Almost like a teacher raising their voice, to get attention. It's shock value, but the intention is to make you really think, to feel the seriousness of that denial.
Okay. So it's less a diagnosis, more describing a deliberate choice, a kind of defiance maybe, turning away from something clear.
Absolutely. That's the core distinction. It's about an active choice.
Okay.
And the metaphor isn't just harsh. It's actually quite psychologically insightful when you think about it.
How so?
Well, consider the isolation, being truly deaf, unable to take in crucial information, dumb, unable to speak truth or even respond properly, blind, unable to see what's right in front of you. So the metaphor paints this picture of a self-imposed isolation, spiritually, intellectually. It's like completely cutting yourself off from the ways truth can even reach you, hearing it, speaking it, seeing it. It's describing a kind of atrophy, but one chosen by the individual.
That distinction, Diagnosis versus defiance, that feels really important. But it makes me wonder, today we often value questioning things. Critical thinking is encouraged. So how does this ancient idea of turning away from truth fit in? Is it saying skepticism itself is the problem?
That's a brilliant point. And it really gets to why this metaphor still resonates, I think. The sources are pretty clear on this. It's not targeting healthy skepticism. That's vital, right, for science, for thought.
Yeah, definitely.
Instead, it's about a different kind of turning away. It's about dodging clear truths, things that are pretty evident.
How do you mean clear?
Well, truths backed by consistent evidence or sound reasoning or maybe even direct experience, often things that might make us uncomfortable or challenge our existing views. It's not about subjective opinions where people can reasonably differ. The original context, sure, it was about rejecting prophetic messages despite signs. But our research, brought up modern parallels, like dismissing overwhelming climate data or ignoring systemic inequality even when the societal impacts are, well, pretty obvious. That's the kind of blindness it seems to be pointing at. It's not just doubting, it's actively denying what's clearly presented.
Okay, that broadens it out a lot. It's not just about religious disbelief in a narrow sense, but then this question of who decides what's obvious, that feels tricky.
It is tricky, yeah.
Is this metaphor really for everyone, or is it still mainly aimed at, specific religious skeptics?
That's a really important question, and I think the texts we looked at address it maybe implicitly. Obvious here doesn't seem to mean what I personally believe. It's more about truths that emerge from evidence, reason, shared experience, things that stand up to scrutiny. The sources aren't saying my specific truth is the only obvious one. It's highlighting a resistance to realities that are demonstrably there, whether it's science or justice or something else. It's about that willful aversion to what's in front of us, not just having a different viewpoint.
Aversion, right.
And if you connect that to the bigger picture, yeah, it feels universal. The Quran might target anyone ignoring truth in its context, faith, ethics, justice, but think about that example again. Dismissing systemic inequality despite the data. Your notes pointed out, it's the same kind of dynamic, isn't it? Eyes shut, ears plugged.
Yeah, I see the parallel.
So it really does feel like a kind of gut check for everyone, not just one particular group. It's about resisting evident realities, whatever field they're in.
And that brings us towards the end of this deep dive. We started with what felt like, well, frankly, harsh language in the Quran, this deaf, dumb, and blind metaphor. And exploring it, we've kind of journeyed from seeing it as just judgment to understanding its real intention more deeply. It seems clear now it's not about literal disability. It's about this profound spiritual stubbornness.
Yeah.
Or, like you said, a willful denial of clear truth.
Precisely. Yeah. I think the core takeaway is that this metaphor is meant to be a powerful wake-up call.
A jolt.
A jolt to reflect, exactly. Using that shock value to really make people think. And it feels incredibly timeless, doesn't it? And universal. It applies beyond just religious skepticism.
Right.
To anyone, really, who might be dodging clear truths, whether they're spiritual, moral, or even scientific truths, like dismissing climate data, ignoring inequality despite evidence. It's presented almost as a gut check for all of us.
So thinking about that, what does this all mean for you listening right now? What are the maybe clear truths in your own life that could be personal, societal, scientific, things you might inadvertently ignoring or turning away from? And maybe how could this ancient metaphor encourage all of us to keep our eyes open or ears unplugged, something to mull over?
Thank you for joining us for today's podcast. I hope you've gained some valuable insights. If you're a truth seeker, yearning for divine light and ready to step out of darkness, now is your moment. The truth is that Allah is the one and only creator of the universe. He has sent over 124,000 messengers and prophets to guide humanity, starting with Adam and culminating with the final messenger, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon them all. If you resonate with this message, you might be ready to embrace Islam. Simply recite the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith. For further support, feel free to join our WhatsApp group. You can send us a private message there. The link is in the video description. Don't wait until it's too late. We look forward to connecting with you soon.